On December 8, the playoffs of The Voice's 28th season concluded in a dramatic fashion, bringing an end to an exciting two-episode duel that decided the final lineup that would proceed into the finale. Every one of the 16 remaining competitors put forth some of the most powerful displays of the season, with the hope that they would be able to persuade their coaches to give them a seat in the competition, and in some instances, win over the audience that was voting. This is because there are only 6 coveted spots available in all. Of all the stages in the competition, the playoffs are among the most emotionally charged and anxiety-inducing. The playoffs provide coaches with complete control, which is a stark contrast to the blinds or battles, when saves and thefts give contestants another opportunity to perform. Regardless of how impressive the lineup is or how flawless the performances are, each coach is required to select only one artist to move on to the final round. The stakes are bigger than they have ever been, and the pressure is immense. In addition, the talent that is competing this season is possibly the most competitive that we have seen in years. The first half of Playoffs Week was broadcast on the 1st of December, featuring teams Reba and Bublé. Reba McEntire decided to select Aubrey Nicole, a 19-year-old powerhouse, as her final choice, and Michael Bublé chose Jazz McKenzie, who was polished and had a soulful sound. The two performers have progressed to the top 6, and they will be representing their respective teams in the final round. On December 8, a week after the previous event, it was time for Team Niall and Team Snoop Dogg to take center stage. Inside the Universal Studios soundstage, the tension was almost tangible due to the fact that each team had only one available spot and was comprised of 4 artists. The night that followed was a remarkable emotional experience, during which voice expertise, coaching tactics, and the season's mic drop winner were all revealed. What follows is a complete review of the second season of the playoffs, featuring all of the performances, the responses of the coaches, and the ultimate decisions that determine the top 6 contestants of the season. An emotional, powerful, and moment-stopping performance. Team Snoop takes center stage. A passionate and powerful series of performances were given by the group led by Snoop Dogg. Snoop was confronted with one of the most challenging decisions of the evening, because the lineup had a wide variety of vocal talents, a lot of attitude, and a great deal of emotional depth. Yoshi Hana. Age: 36 years old. City where I was born and raised: Sanford, Florida. The song is titled, "And I Am Telling You I'm Not Going," and is performed by Jennifer Holliday. Yoshi Hana had a stunning performance that drew the attention of both the studio audience and the coaches. She was daring in her choice to play a song that is among the most challenging to sing. "She is absolutely incredible," Niall said. "I'm giving her my highest praise for the way she manages to incorporate vocal gymnastics into her performances." Michael Bublé praised her clutch performance, specifically pointing out how she stepped up to the occasion. Snoop expressed his visible emotion and claimed that he felt pleased to be her instructor. He also assured her that she was deserving of the opportunity to produce her own tracks. The night was marked by a performance that was brave, brimming with emotion, and most definitely, powerful. Mindy Miller. Age: 35 years old. Place of birth: Damascus, Maryland. Not Ready to Make Nice is a song by the band The Chicks. With a great deal of fervor and determination, Mindy refused to abandon her connections to her rural upbringing. Her ability to demonstrate her lower register's grittiness and her top notes' soaring confidence was made possible by the song. In a statement to Mindy, the well-known expert on this form of music, Reba McEntire, said that she knocked it out of the ballpark. Snoop concurred and was of the opinion that she had the characteristics of a genuine competitor who was craving a berth in the final round. Mindy was able to demonstrate that she was a worthy participant in the discourse with the best performers of the evening, as she was able to establish a strong emotional connection. Age: 28 years old. City where I was born and raised: Houston, Texas. Song: Bust Your Windows by Jasmine Sullivan. In her performance, Toni demonstrated a sense of theatricality, brought her strength to the forefront, and exhibited her attitude. Michael Bublé commended her for being so daring, and he expressed his admiration for her ability to seize the moment with absolute certainty. Niall made a joke in which he claimed that Snoop's team was causing him a lot of difficulties, and he pointed to the fact that the team was producing work of an exceptionally high quality. Snoop was overcome with emotion and remarked that the essence of the voice was embodied by Tony, bringing forth unpolished, distinctive talent that the world needed to hear. Among all the performances that took place that evening, the way that she sang the song was one of the most memorable. Ralph Edwards is age 30 years old, place of origin Fresno, California. Song Donny Hathaway's A Song for You. The sincere, passionate performance of Ralph caused the entire room to fall into a silence. He had voices that were full of depth, tenderness, and a feeling of emotional maturity, which was an uncommon quality for any performer, especially in the context of a competition. "Wreck-It Ralph is back at it again," Niall quipped in jest, acknowledging the fact that he had been extremely powerful throughout the season. Michael Bublé referred to him only as the voice, drawing attention to the fact that he was talented and had a pure tone. However, the moment was truly cemented by Snoop's reply. The performance by Ralph had a deeply personal impact on Snoop, bringing to recall memories of relatives who had died. It was one of the most authentic and moving interactions of the whole season. The choice that Snoop made. Ralph Edwards. According to Snoop, Ralph possessed not just a voice of world-class caliber, but also the emotional depth necessary to compete against the top performers from all of the other teams. The finale will now include Ralph as the representative of Team Snoop. Team Niall. The four unmistakable artists and the one impossible decision. One of the most powerful teams of the season was the team that Niall Horan brought into the playoffs. Each and every one of the performers had already delivered noteworthy performances in the blinds, battles, and knockouts. Niall demonstrated by his emotional responses throughout the evening how difficult it was to make a decision between the two options. Kirby is in need of some assistance. How old are you? I am 24 years old. Place of birth: Florence, Alabama. The musical composition is titled Bruises and was written by Louis Capaldi. Kirby's performance was marked by its delicateness, its ability to evoke feelings in the audience, and its technical precision. Reba was impressed with both her pure tone and her spiritual presence, and she pointed out how the performance manages to capture the listener by the heart. Niall conveyed to her that she had not yet come to the realization of just how immensely talented she really was and that he was immensely proud of her development. Kirby was a standout because of her vulnerability during her delivery, and she continues to possess one of her best qualities, which is her ability to relate stories. How old are you? I am 20 years old. Hometown: College Station, Texas. Song title: The Blower's Daughter, performed by Damien Rice. One of the most memorable events of the evening was Aiden's performance. His eerie song, which was performed with emotional restraint and subtle passion, garnered immediate appreciation from the audience. "Killing 'em softly" is the way that Snoop characterized it, and Michael praised Aiden for having the maturity to know when not to oversing. In his commendation of the artistry, Niall stated that Aiden's blend of control and emotional truth was evidence of his potential to become a star of the future. From the very first note to the very last, Aiden had the audience completely enthralled. Ava Natworth. How old are you? I am 18 years old. City where I was raised: Garden City, New York. Title: Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine. Ava's gentle, airy voice was the perfect match for the song, and she made use of the personal storytelling technique that she is well known for. Snoop was convinced that she was deserving of being in the finale, and Reba was in awe of her composure as well as her great finish. However, it was Niall who brought attention to the fact that she has a remarkable talent for storytelling, claiming that listeners find themselves involuntarily drawn in when she performs her music. Both the coaches and the audience are consistently awed by her youthfulness and emotional intelligence. DK of Cups. City where I was born and raised: Nashville, Tennessee. Song: Helplessly Hoping by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. One of the most amazing performances of the evening was delivered by the trio, who demonstrated their flawless harmonies and cohesive emotional presence. Reba pleaded with them to play the song one more time, and with a great deal of confidence, she said that they had the potential to win this whole sucker. Snoop expressed his agreement with such sentiment by referring to them as a one-of-a-kind act. Niall lauded the constancy that they demonstrated, remarking that they never make any harmonic mistakes, which is an astounding achievement for a group of 3 singers. It was an outstanding performance that reminded the audience of the reasons for which the DEK of Hearts has been one of the most talked about performances during the season. The choice that Niall makes is... Niall provided an explanation that Aiden's artistic talent, maturity, and authenticity in expressing emotions made him the ideal candidate to serve as the team's representative in the final. Aiden is only 20 years old, but his brilliance is already so obvious that Niall is convinced that there are no limits to what he will do in the future. The identification of the mic drop competition's champion. On January 1, 2026, a special performance slot at the Rose Parade was up for grabs in a fan-voted mic drop contest. Each coach selected one contestant to compete in the event. The contestants were chosen earlier in the season. The nominees for the mic drop were as follows: Niall, the DEK of Hearts; Snoop, Yoshihana; Michael, Max Chambers; Reba, Aaron Nichols. When the episode concluded, Carson Daly revealed the winner of the audience vote, which was DEK of Hearts. The group's artistry and harmonies once again captured the hearts of the American public. The Rose Parade, which is a highly prestigious event and a platform on a national level, will now feature a live performance by the trio. Concluding remarks: emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and unprecedented skill level characterize this season. The playoff tournament has now officially concluded, and as a result, the top 6 for Season 28 is as follows. Jazz McKenzie is a member of Team Bubla. Ralph Edwards is on Team Snoop. Aubrey Nicole is on Team Reba, and Aiden Ross is on Team Niall, in addition to the 2 finalists chosen by the fans. Because each of the contestants has their own distinctive artistic identity, vocal range, and emotional depth, the finale is going to be one of the most closely fought competitions in recent memory. The 28th season of The Voice continues the show's legacy of combining musical quality with personal storytelling, mentorship, and emotional impact. While it is evident that this season has already given performances that will be remembered for a long time to come, and that the finest may still be ahead of us, these 6 artists are getting ready for the most important night of their life.